when you have a good mix of furniture, that is where you really get to splurge in some places and save in some places. You want to go high because you want to
draw the eye up. Anything to draw the eye up.
You needed something.
You need something to anchor the room. You always need a darker, warmer, richer situation somewhere, right? Like Vanna White.
Yes. It's not just a Debbie Downer video.
No, it's not.
Hey guys, it's Shelby Michelle with FHL Design Co. And today we are sharing design rules you should never, ever, 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 ever break. And I want to disclose that I don't like boxing you guys in. I like freedom and creativity and your own personal design expression. But I feel like having rules that you cannot break gives you the opportunity.
Yeah, and plus to be quite transparent with you, people love these videos.
You guys like,
you guys are really looking at things not to do.
Yeah.
Right?
So let's do that. And I would love your feedback on this. Do you like to hear this type of content, or would you like it to be more
positive?
Well, this is, I will say, I feel like this is all going to be positive because it gives you clarity. But let us know. We love having conversations, and we are collecting questions for our monthly Q&A video. So make sure that you leave those in the comments.
Yeah.
And you should also tell them to go ahead and like the video.
Yeah, because it helps our channel, subscribe, share with your friends, and
you're going too far. Let's do light at the end.
This video is being filmed while Shelby is 4 or 5 days past due.
Yeah, help me have this baby. Maybe if you guys watch more, I'll birth.
At the end of the day, it's going to be probably put out there, and we're going to have the baby. So on the next video, stay tuned. And you're going to want to see this little nugget, this little chicken nugget, which I think is going to have dark hair. Her other 2 children have blonde.
Yes. You plugged a cliffhanger. That's a good job.
Cliffhanger.
That's such a YouTuber thing. Okay. So the first rule to never break is you need to have a solid mix of furniture with variation. So this applies for a living room, a dining room, a bedroom. You do not want furniture sets at any point in time.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's easy, right? You go to the big box store, you see the 5-piece bedroom suit, and you're like, boom. Sold. But what happens invariably is when you get that in the space, it just feels cold. It doesn't feel collected. It doesn't feel warm and inviting. It doesn't feel personal.
There's no story involved in it. And I would say the advantage of this, because a lot of people look at furniture sets and they're like, wow, that's way more cost effective than buying, like going to Pottery Barn and pulling different examples of, or different lines of furniture. But what I will tell you is when you have a good mix of furniture, that is where you really get to splurge in some places and save in some places. If you have a set of furniture and then you try to throw something in from Facebook Marketplace or an estate sale, it just looks like you messed up. Whereas if you pull something from Facebook Marketplace, an estate sale, a thrift store with a splurge, everything looks splurged.
Yeah. And also I will say, if you've done this, I've done it back in the day. I mean, I did it when you kids were little. I bought your bedroom suits. One of the ways that you can change it up is to maybe paint a dresser.
Yeah.
Or change the knobs and the hardware out on a piece so that it looks more customized.
Yeah.
But so if you've done it, no worries. There's ways,
simple fixes.
There's simple fixes. Or maybe sell something and replace it with 2 items that are more personal.
Yeah, give you a, kind of a shift in style and look.
Yeah.
So there are solutions. See what I'm saying? We gave you a rule to not break, but we gave you solutions and also why this is good for you.
Yes.
So it's not just a Debbie Downer video.
No, it's not. And you know what I've been loving too? This is not a rule that you should follow, but in my living room, I have 2 identical sofas. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But these days, the cool kids, they might have an identical sofa, but one in a, like, maybe brown linen and one in a cream linen. And so they look different, but they're also
like same structure.
Cohesive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. there are many different ways to mix it up if you would like to do so, but just don't get all the same. That is the rule we're not going to break. Number 2 is source the right size rug. This is a big deal. Really even still, clients will send us pictures of their rooms for us to help either during a design consultation or when they hire us. And there's normally in the living room a floating rug. Like there's a couch, floating rug. If you buy the right size rug, your room looks grounded. Even if it's not the best rug, it just looks so much better. And so making sure that all the feet are on the rug. So the whole piece of furniture doesn't have to be on the rug, but the front feet of every piece. Now you have a chair in the corner.
Yeah, that's a little different. But the pieces that are your anchor pieces for your room really need to touch that rug, right? And in a bedroom and there are some ways to find this out online. There are some diagrams. You can actually put your rug in the space with the different programs that they have on, rugs.com or any other.
Yeah, and people have been asking me what software I use. I actually have been using Chief Architect, but you can use Home Styler and plug your size in and get that room, like the view of what size rug you need. If you do not want to use any tech for this, just put painter's tape. Like, okay, you have your furniture.
So smart.
Put painter's tape on the floor, and then you'll have an idea.
Again, if you've made the mistake, you bought a rug, you love the rug, you want to keep the rug's too small. Why don't you double it up? I just put a jute cream colored rug under an 8x10. I did 11x13 with a 8x10 on top of it, and that made me happy.
But you didn't mess up. You knew you were going to layer.
I knew I was going to layer. But if you have bought a rug that's too small, you could layer your rugs.
Yeah, and then you look like you really did it all on purpose.
A well-intentioned, designed rug situation.
Yes. So when you mess up, just look at it as an opportunity to get creative.
Yes.
To problem solve. So I do have a list of common rug sizes, especially for bedrooms. If you do want that, I will editor put it over mother and
like Vanna White.
Yes. Okay, number 3 is your curtain rod needs to go all the way to the ceiling. Well, pretty high up, pretty close to your ceiling. And your curtains don't need to puddle the floor.
We don't puddle anymore.
No, we don't want to puddle.
I mean, it just collects dust on the bottom of your curtain panels, and so I feel like puddling is out.
Puddling is out, but more than that, I think if you want to look like you have a well-planned, well-designed space, having that really does do the trick. And also, you can have very cost-effective curtains, like lower end. I mean, window treatments are pricey.
Well,
but if you place them right, you can get away with it.
Exactly. And I will say, I have a lot of friends who have not followed this rule, and their whole room will be beautiful and glorious and it'll look great. And then you come in and you see this curtain situation, and then you have to buy new curtains. So if you'll just do it right out of the gate, find your curtain length from a taller, and you don't have to go all the way up to the ceiling.
Yeah, but you want to go high because you want to
draw the eye up. Anything to draw the eye up. I mean, ceiling treatments are, we're getting off track now, but anything that makes you,
Yes, you want to be looking up. I mean, it's even just a perspective of life. Like, are you looking up?
There you go. That's free.
So yeah, just follow those rules it really does cheapen a room, and you can get away with more cost-effective window treatments if you follow that rule. So that is just, and I think it's one of the easiest rules to follow. Number 4, rule to not break is using all white everything. We are not in this monochromatic world anymore, the millennial gray, where everything looks like you literally made it black and white.
Hospital grade.
Yeah.
You know, vanilla cream. I love white, by the way.
Oh yeah.
And but
bright and airy.
Bright and airy.
Neutral.
But if you use white on white on white on white on white in any space, bathroom, bedroom, family room, whatever, it just is so sterile and cold. And I've always felt like even when it was a thing,
You needed something.
you need something to anchor the room. You always need a darker, warmer, richer situation somewhere, right?
Well, and we are seeing people go really dramatic with this. Like, you know, we went from millennial gray and then we're like, oh my gosh, we were so sterile. That was so boring. And then we're going this like crazy, more out of the box.
Love it.
Yes, but if that is not your thing, you can add color with pillows and rugs and lamps and books and styling vignettes. You don't have to be dramatic.
Yeah, and let me say, that is the best rule to not break of all rules.
You can't just add to the list like that.
No. I'm going to say this. Just don't do what everybody else is doing because it's the thing. Be true to yourself. You know, I love bright, airy spaces, right? I also love rich, moody colors. And so I'm doing those in smaller little bathrooms and things like
Secondary
that because
spaces.
my core style is a lighter, brighter, airier situation. So I'm not going to come in my family room and paint it dark and moody.
No.
I'm going to be true to me.
Yeah, you know your style. And we're going to do a video about that, how to find your own style.
Yes.
So now that Mom's added an additional rule, I don't know what number we're on.
5.
Okay, so number 5 is find a good art mix. And this art mix does not include what?
Words. No word art.
No word art. So I know it's sad. Some people, we love our gather signs and we want to gather, right?
Yeah.
But maybe we get a picture of a vintage table in a like, you know what I'm saying? There's
I do want to say there are exceptions to this rule. Okay.
Find one.
Well, I will. There are some modern art photography that includes signs of buildings or something like that. Also, I have words carved into my dining room table. So it's not like we're in opposition to all words everywhere. It's just your kitschy, cheesy word.
Well, and I think where we need to remember is there are cost-effective ways to have elevated art that to still tell a story. So if you are trying to represent live, laugh, love, let's find something that makes you have that feeling that's maybe not that. Like you have a beach abstract art that probably gives you the live, laugh, love vibe.
It totally live, laughs, loves me. But I also will say, again, I do have words on art in these shadow boxes where I have featured vintage botanicals, and they're handwritten little notes of the botanical that are vintage, they're antique, they're very, very old. And so again, we're just talking practically about not doing machismo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're trying to elevate spaces while still telling a story and creating a feel of cozy, sophisticated, memory-rich spaces. And I just feel like giant black words on a white backdrop just doesn't do that.
Right.
But if you love it, the rule of staying true to your own style is more priority over this. But I would give you I would ask you to stretch yourself creatively to find other opportunities to make the feeling that you're trying to represent in that space.
Yes, I agree.
Just try to, and if you need help, I'll help you. Tell me what you're trying to feel. I don't know.
That would be a design challenge.
That would be
Send us your word out and see how we can put a spin on it.
Yeah.
No.
Yesterday we went to, this is off topic too, but yesterday we did a design consultation for an office that we're designing, and they gave us some basically ingredients that we could consider using in the space, and it was a duck figurine and a rocket. And so
Yeah.
when you said that, like, that'll be a challenge, I was thinking,
yes, but we love these clients so much, and they have some very interesting artifacts because of his he's been in
the
military, and he's also an air pilot, and so there's just a fun mix of eclectic items.
So
can't wait.
We love a challenge, so give us more challenges.
You have to stay tuned for that.
I will find a way to use the rocket.
Definitely.
Yes, we will. That's not on the rules. Don't use rockets.
No.
Number 6 is use a good mix of sized accent pieces. So especially when you see a good vignette, you see a big item, a medium item, a small item. But it's really easy to go shopping and just pick up a ton of small tchotchkes, and there's no variation in size, nothing's grounded, nothing feels important. Your eyes doesn't know where to go. And so just don't get too many small things, basically, is the...
Yeah, I mean, we talked about having too many shelves too if you're building or you're adding shelving to a room. Like I did this in our house that we built in the country. I had so many built-ins, so many shelves, so many spaces where I had an opportunity for too many tchotchkes. And so I would say less is more. And also just give yourself space, white space, a place for your eye to rest. If you don't know how to do this, we even go to Instagram, Pinterest, different places to get ideas for how to create vignettes on shelves and tables and different things. So I also feel like we're seeing a lot of people turn to a maximalist style, which can look junky if you're not intentional.
Yeah, I think like what Mom said, you can find inspiration, and I always like your side table is a good example of that. If you have a round table and you're like, how do I style it? A couple of books, a plant, a lamp. That is an easy combination. And so
we've given you the 5 ingredients before.
We've talked about
books, candles or candlesticks, plants, something life, right?
Mm-hmm. She was calling them artifacts.
Artifacts.
We actually haven't put this video out there. She said she wanted to give you guys a list of ingredients that make decorating easy. And I'm actually gonna have Mom film this completely by herself.
It's gonna be a wild. And then art,
Art.
Yeah.
So I think just looking at their combination and then looking at the size variation. I think also defining the spaces that you are going to style these vignettes and isolating it to this one area. So instead of trying to run to Home Goods and get a bunch of accents for your entire living room, think, okay, I am decorating just this table. I am styling just this shelf. I am doing just my mantle. And maybe even make a list of the spaces that you are going to style very intentionally and find inspiration for those type of surfaces instead of just being like candlestick, blah, 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 and grabbing a bunch of stuff that you don't know how it's going to look together.
Yeah. Also, last tip on this, less is more in that you can put things in little groupings, pair them together like a taller vase with a smaller piece of pottery, and that really makes a bigger statement than if you have 12 vases, right? Mm-hmm. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, and I mean, in general, if you're going to style, this could probably be a whole video, but styling a vignette, just get an odd number of things and put it together and make sure nothing is the same size.
There you go.
Don't break that rule.
Don't break that rule.
I actually would say you can definitely break the vignette rule. I mean, don't do a bunch of small things. That is a rule to not break, but people have surprised me, like Stephanie Benedetto, when she styles, I'm like, what is the method? What is the method? I can't find it. And how did she make this work? So
Yeah.
definitely wouldn't, that is a practice though. So I would start by defining your spaces, making a list, and finding inspiration for those types of spaces.
Yep.
And then you'll get so good at it, you'll even blow Stephanie out of the water. Maybe.
There you go.
I don't like to end at 6, but we only wrote 6 down. So Mom's going to, on the fly right now, come up with the 7th rule to not break. It's got to be important. It's got to be impactful.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be amazing. What is the rule? Give me a second. You had said something, Graceland, earlier that I was like, oh, yeah. It's a big... I know. Too many things that you can get dirty. Okay, I think this rule is for everyone. Do not fill your home with items that are going to get dirty. Like, for an example, okay?
I have no idea where this is going.
Okay. If you have a very well-trafficked space, do not use carpeting. If you have dogs, do not use furniture that you cannot wash.
Okay, so I'm gonna set up her rule in a more clear way for you guys.
In a more design savvy way.
Maybe so. I think the rule to not break is putting form over function. Function needs to be priority, which is hard for us.
That's exactly what I said. You guys got that right? Form over function?
Well, I would say in general, when we speak with clients or we go in, we're normally pitching. We're trying to make sure they understand the value of the look. And normally the client's like, wait, we use this space for this and this and this. And we're like, why does function always have to be like killing the vibes?
But how do you live in your space? You want to be comfortable. You want to feel good.
Yeah.
So if you have a bunch of dogs, buy all washable furniture. All slip covers.
Slip covers.
Slip covers.
Well, and washable rugs. If you do have the budget to make hard surfaces versus carpet in main spaces.
Back in the day when you were little, I just ripped the carpet up and we just walked on the concrete. Remember that?
Yeah, and there was literally carpet tacks coming out, and I was like 5 years old just stepping on carpet tacks because my mom said she's going to DIY the tile floor. I never did. And so we lived like that for like a month until my dad finally said, pay somebody to do this.
I started it myself. It didn't go well.
No.
Yeah, but anyway, I do believe you have to know.
Don't do that.
I believe you have to know how you live, and you have to really design around that.
Yeah.
So that you're comfortable and your space is welcoming, inviting, and
yeah,
nice.
And I'll give you a list of questions you can ask for a space to make sure that you can accomplish that without.
Or personal questions about how do we live.
You're missing. That wasn't the point of what I. Wait, Mom and I live differently. If you can't tell.
Hey, you came in with duck poop on your pants yesterday. You probably want to cut that.
I did. I dropped Graceland, just so you know. I dropped stuff over my bag and it just landed in a pile of duck poop. And I stuck it in my pocket because I didn't know that it had. Anyways.
Ugh.
Okay.
All right. We love you. And we hope you like and subscribe.
We hope you will like
and share these videos. Because you're going to want to stay tuned for Bambino.
That's his name?
No. His name is Cooper Coleman.
Yeah.
And he might be a country music singer. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.